Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Sheena Metal Experience with your host, Sheena Metal, right here on LA Talk Radio.
That's right. It's the Sheena Metal Experience right here on LA Talk Radio. For more info on the show, latalkradio.com, SheenaMetalExperience.com. Don't forget to email me and let me know what you think of the show. If you're looking for me on social media, it couldn't be easier. I'm just at Sheena Metal everywhere. I'm also the founder of a movement of peace and love and kindness and unity. We're at IamRaisingTheVibration.com and at our nonprofit hub, which is RaisingTheVibration.org. We also have a wonderful online community at TheVibrationNation.com and a blog and vlog at AVibrationNation.com. And I have my own spiritual practice there at IamRaisingYourVibration.com and at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. That's not even all my websites. Isn't that embarrassing? We're here every Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time doing all kinds of different things on this afternoon drive show. Now in our 11th year here at LA Talk Radio. We celebrated 10 years in January. Sometimes I do special broadcasts of different things, and this is one where I like to get together with another fellow lightworker or more than one, and live on the air, we take your calls, we help, we heal, we do a little spiritual counseling, little psychic reading, some mediumship, and I like to call it Lightworkers Unite today on the Sheena Metal Experience. My guest is the wonderfully talented Rebecca Haywood. She is featured in my friend Betsy Chassey's new book, Shamanism in the New Millennium. And it's going to be fun to have her on a Lightworkers United. This is her first one, and we're going to have a blast. So here's how it works. This is how we work around that tricky mistress we all know as Skype. So here's what we do. I'm going to give you my cell phone number on the air because I'm that dummy. And then you're going to send me a text message, and then I'm going to get you in the list to be on the show live on the air with us. So it's 818-437-0886. You just text me at 818-437-0886, and then I will get you on the air with Rebecca and me. If we have time, we'll put you in the queue. We'll get you on the list, and we're going to be all over Facebook at LA Talk Radio's site, and also now shared onto all of my sites. So you can find us everywhere. Enjoy the show, and feel free to get on the list to call in, 818-437-0886. So we're waiting for Rebecca to get here, and while we do that, I may just take a call because that would be fun, right? So if you see me looking at my phone a lot, looking down at my phone like this or doing this or this, you're going to see a lot of my resting bitch face, and it's a little scary. It's because I have to monitor the callers, and I have to monitor the show, and I have to tell people when they're going to be on and when they're going to be first and all that good stuff. So we're going to be doing that while Rebecca talks, but right now Rebecca's not here, so I have to just text somebody and let them know that they're going to be on first, and then we'll get somebody on. So it's a lot of fun. I think you're all going to love it. And right now the link is live at latalkradio.com, the Facebook Live link. Hi, Facebook Live. As soon as we get here, we get rolling with a caller, and then I'll start doing my magic of going everywhere on Facebook and leaving the link and just acting like a general crazy person. So Ashley's up first. We're going to get Ashley on the phone. And while we work to get Ashley on the phone, let me once again say 818-437-0886. That is the number. And the wonderful Rebecca Haywood will be here. She's walking in right now. So Ashley, hang tight for 1 second because I'm going to introduce Rebecca, and then we're going to get you on the air. So Rebecca, come sit next to me because we're on Facebook Live. So it's a whole different thing now. You get to sit next to me and cuddle with me. We're over there. Uh-huh. I kind of move the microphone without even looking at it. Welcome to the show, my friend. Have you ever done something like this before?
Who, me?
Helping healing people live on the air? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, Massachusetts.
No, I have never done a live little
I think you're going to think it's fun, right?
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Okay, good. Look, she's like on her phone, like, wait a minute, I have to deal with my hordes of fans.
Make it quiet for
We've got people texting to get on the air already. Yay. And we've got a call getting ready to go, and this is very exciting. And somebody else just came in that wants a reading. So I'm going to be texting people and kind of doing 3 different things while you're here. So sometimes I'll leave you in the capable hands of our beautiful callers,
mine?
Rebecca. That's yours.
Cool.
All right. So so here we go. We're going to get Ashley on the phone, and then we're rocking. First of all, before we do that, just a minute with you, because I like to take a minute with my guest. Tell everybody why it is that you wanted to be and why you love being a healer.
Wow. I mean, that's such a big question to answer in so many different ways. But I would say like the one answer is just, it's what has called me my whole life. And I would say all of us, all of us healers, we've had suffering in our lives, right? And that journey of personal suffering has really inspired each and every aspect of how I work with people. That it's what ignites the passion, the compassion, the empathy. Mm-hmm. It's what carves the well oh so deep, to be able to hold that much more love. And really to take the journey is then to offer it to others. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's also a lot of it is it's just service. I think you get called to service like you get called to anything.
Yeah.
And I think that my whole life I thought that I was called to service as an artist, and that's how I healed people. And I guess I didn't realize that I actually was a healer all along.
Which is also
and just
an art.
Sometimes I use art to heal.
Yeah.
And sometimes I use healing to heal. And sometimes I use speaking to heal. And now I use all kinds of different things to heal. Yeah. But all my friends that I've been friends with for like 20, 30 years, they're always like, but you always were a healer, right? But you always were that person that healed people at parties and healed everybody in a group. And, so.
Yeah.
Yay for healing, right?
Yay for healing.
Yay for healing. All right. So we're going to take a call, and then we're going to be rolling along and taking a lot of your calls. You got to put those headphones on because our caller's going to be there. So we're going to get Ashley on the phone and do a little helping and a little healing. Just me and Rebecca Haywood today right here on the Sheena Metal Experience. I'm calling these special broadcasts Lightworkers Unite. I love that.
Yes.
I just came up with that a couple days ago. We've been doing this for about a month, but everything seems more real to me when I actually have a name for something. I don't know what it is about me, but I like to name things. I'm strange. Once it has a name, that it seems like a legitimate thing that's supposed to be there. So Facebook Live, LA Talk Radio. It's going to be everywhere on all of my pages in just moments. Ashley, welcome to the show, my friend. It's wonderful to have you here.
Hi. It's good to be here.
How are you, my friend? Welcome.
I'm doing good.
That's great. I had to turn my headphones up so I could hear you. What's on your mind, my friend? Do you have a question or something you'd like that Rebecca and I can help you with?
I just kind of want to know what's in store for me this year. It's a new year. I'm looking forward to some good changes, hopefully. And, that's pretty much it. And I don't know if you can tell, but if there's any messages from my loved ones, I'm always interested to hear from them.
Well, let's talk about you a little bit, because I feel like they really want us to focus first on you. This is kind of a year where you're going to really find your passion. I sort of feel like that's sort of always what gets left behind with you. That you focus on everything else and everybody else, and you worry about a lot of things in your life. And the things that really ignite your soul, the things that really set you on fire in the best possible way, are the things that you always sort of push back for another day, right? I'll do that next year. I'll do that another time, or I'll take that class someday, or I'll read that book someday when I have a minute. And you're always dealing with the things that you consider to be the immediacy, real world things, and taking the things that really make your soul sing and putting them on the back burner for a rainy day. And now the universe is saying that it's raining and that day has come. And this is the year that you really need to put time into you, and you need to put focus into your spiritual life, your passionate life, and what really sets you on fire. Because there's a kind of almost sort of a stagnation and a boredom that's building up inside of you towards a lot of things, and you need sort of a giant reset. And a great way to get a big reset is to find something that you love and really fall in love with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And do you know what that thing is? I mean, do you know what that thing is that you want to do that you keep putting off and putting off and putting off?
Right now I've been thinking about school and trying to get back into going back to school and getting a degree to further my career. And I've kind of always just made excuses like there was something else going on, or, life just happened. And I feel like this point in my life, I've been thinking about time for me to pursue that.
Yeah, I agree. It's time for a change in life, right? I mean, not like an enormous change, like you want to throw out everything you're doing and not throwing your whole life away. But there needs to be something added to your life to make it a little more exciting to you in a spiritual and in an emotional way. It's almost like your life needs more like zing. Does that make sense? It's been a while since you've really just allowed yourself to do something that focuses on you.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca?
Well, I'm laughing silently over here because you were saying everything that was coming to me, and I speak in metaphors and images. And what I saw was, you soaring, flying, like an eagle, right?
Yeah.
Like the song.
Fly like an eagle, baby.
Yeah, but I saw you soaring, but higher, right? Like you've been soaring, but you've been soaring kind of stuck on a level, unable to go up, unable to go down. And this is the year for you to break through that barrier.
Yes.
Right? And I also saw you soaring alone for the now. And that's, I think, an important piece of this soaring higher and dreaming bigger is that piece of really that communion with yourself, of really almost getting selfish, because that is what is going to expand you. And, all of that self-love is what you will be bringing to others. But first you have to develop that in yourself, right?
Yes.
First you have to become that magical kitchen, right? That produces and produces and produces as the infinite source of love. So it was just beautiful. Everything she was saying, it was like she's stuck on a level. Yep.
Yeah.
And, and it's time to break through. It's time to really go for that passion that you've been dreaming of and making excuses for.
That's so cool. And what's so interesting, Ashley, is that Rebecca and I have never done this together before. I mean, we're friends, but we've never actually read somebody at the same time before. So not only just not here on the air, but at all. So it's wonderful that we were so sort of in sync, and wonderful that that we can both feel you so much. And that's really what it is. You just need something to get you like so excited about everything in the world again.
Mm-hmm. And trust your wings, don't worry about falling. Trust your wings. Really trust them. You've got it. You have everything that you need.
Yeah.
You really do.
I agree.
You're ready. You are ready.
I agree 100%. Do you feel better?
And that's good to hear. Yeah.
Are you going to start looking at classes?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to start looking at classes tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I need to do, and I feel like that was validation to go ahead, and I think I've always put it on the back burner as well because I was so afraid of failing, and I don't want to do that. I feel like at this point in my life I don't really have time to fail. I have my son to think about and a career that I'd like to progress in, and I feel like school has just been weighing heavy on my mind, and I feel like right now is the time to do so.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. Don't let your fear stop you.
Yeah.
It's not that you're not going to feel fear. It's not that a warrior doesn't feel fear. This is something my teacher used to say to me. It's just that a warrior isn't paralyzed by that fear.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep flying, keep going, keep taking the action in spite of that fear. And sure, honor the fear, give it the love, mother it just like you do your beautiful son, right? Mother that fear, but don't let it stop you, okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're doing so good. You're going to do so well with this. This is going to be such a beautiful thing for you, sweetie. I know this seems like a scary time, but it's actually going to be the most beautiful time. And Rebecca and I are going to be here every step of the way with you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be worried. You don't have to be scared. You have my cell phone. You've got my email. You can reach out to me anytime you want and let me know how you're feeling. And I'm here to send you a text message and tell you it's going to be okay.
That's so good to hear. I appreciate that.
You bet. It's absolutely our pleasure, sweetheart. You take care of you, and thanks so much for calling into the show, and we will talk to you soon. And we really appreciate you, and thank you for being our first caller. What a great caller. And that's what it's basically like for 2 hours. Is this fun?
Yummy.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when my whole life, my go-to has always been when something happens to me that's icky, or I feel like I'm having a weird day or cranky day or a bad day, I recover from that by doing something nice for somebody else.
Yeah.
So these shows, I'm doing 2 back to back today. I did one in the morning and now I'm doing this one. The morning, noon to 2 p.m. That's the morning for me, Rebecca. That's my morning.
I don't know. You were up pretty early this morning.
Yes, that's my morning.
I was impressed.
It really, I can't think of anything that makes me feel better than helping other people.
Yes.
To me, it's such a wonderful thing.
It's true.
It's so very important.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get somebody else on. What do you think?
Yeah, let's
Sounds
do
good.
it.
Look at you. You're so good about it. You're having such a good time. You're such an easy sell on this. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this idea? And you're like, oh, I'm in. I'll see you there.
Well, I already dreamed it, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, didn't I text that to you?
No.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was a waking dream or a sleeping dream, but I had already seen us doing this type of show
Well, there you go.
together.
Do you have a lot of
premonitions?
waking dreams?
Yeah.
Well, premonition, sure, I'm sure you do. But do you have a lot of waking dreams?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
Now,
I'm having one right now.
how do you differentiate a waking dream from a not waking dream, from a sleeping dream? What do you think? There's a different kind of significance. There's a reason why some dreams are given to you when you're asleep, and some dreams are given to you while you're awake.
I don't necessarily have an opinion about it, really. I think it's just I happen to be awake or I happen to be asleep when the dream comes.
Okay.
When the information comes. I suppose maybe in our sleep, if I were to think about this for a moment, that maybe the sleeping dreams come there in the sleeping realm because it needs to bypass our conscious mind, maybe because we have some sort of resistance to receiving that information, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we're sleeping, we're in our full-on subconscious open.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the waking life, our ego is well engaged. So I suppose if I'm resistant to seeing or hearing or knowing something, then it's probably going to come from me in my sleeping dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no.
That's my best guess.
How does a waking dream manifest itself to you in a different way than just I was just sitting there thinking? Because I was sitting there thinking, and then there were waking dreams, right?
Gosh, you ask such hard questions.
Well, I do the hard questions here.
Yeah.
That's how it works here, Rebecca Haywood. Only the hard questions.
Well, gosh, I mean, how do I describe it? It feels like an energy that is delivered, and to me, it comes in visions.
Okay.
And yet it kind of hits me with a certain power that has a certain sparkle,
okay,
a certain shimmer to it, versus a thought that is coming from me. This is coming from the great beyond,
nice.
you know? And so it feels bigger. It feels bigger
nice.
than I am. And yeah, it's really like a download. And I don't really know how to describe that differently than a thought, but I suppose it's the direction of the energy coming from inside or coming from the all.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So it's almost like a download more than it is just, I was just sitting around thinking.
Yeah.
It's not like when you're sitting
versus
around thinking
upload.
like, hot dogs are good or something.
Right.
It's like,
and there's
it's a
nothing
little
wrong
more,
with the upload.
That could be a universal download. The universe could download into you that hot dogs are good.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Maybe your body really needs a hot dog.
Yeah.
You know? It could happen one day. It could happen.
Fantastic. All right. Well, if you want to get on the air with us, text me 818-437-0886 because now I'm the weirdo that puts my number up on Facebook, right?
Brave soul.
I'm living in the now, people. Living in the everything. Go, go, go. 818-437-0886. Text me your name and number. We will put you on the list to get you on the air. And so grateful to have you all with us today. So grateful to have Rebecca here. I'm putting it all over Facebook right now. Right now we have Dan on the line. Dan, welcome to the show, my friend.
How are you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
You know, as my grandfather would say, I didn't wake up 6 feet under on the shelf, so I'm doing okay.
Good, good, good. I'm glad that you're doing well, and it's so great to have you on the show. And Dan was trying to get on earlier today with me and couldn't, so he's been waiting for hours to be here, and I'm so grateful for you, my friend.
Well, I'm grateful for you and both of your talents. I really appreciate it. And I can probably talk to you for days with questions. But I do have two questions.
Sure.
One, I've been working towards a dream, I think, my whole life. And I'm approaching my mid-40s. And I just don't know if I'm getting further away or closer.
Oh, okay. Well,
so I want to know if, like, the actions I'm doing, if I'm getting closer to that, or am I, or what?
Well, I feel like you're getting closer, but I feel like it's coming closer, but it's not coming in a way that you think it's coming. So you almost don't recognize it. And one day it's just going to kind of plop down in front of you, and there it's going to be. So sometimes the universe wants to teach you the lesson that it's okay to say that I want something. It's good. They like that. It's okay to envision something. However, sometimes they don't want you to. I always say the universe doesn't give a damn about your timeline. The universe has a way that it's going to happen, and part of the lesson for you in this life is to go with the flow and let it happen, sweetheart, the way it's supposed to happen, instead of deciding that you know the way that it's going to happen. Sometimes the lesson is just to be out of control. Sometimes the lesson is just to be in the waiting place and the journey of the waiting and the waiting for the dream to come. Sometimes that's the lesson. If we knew how everything was going to happen and it was going to happen the way we wanted it to happen, then we wouldn't have anything to learn, and there would be certainly anything to do here. It would be like, I always say it's like playing a game of Candyland. Like, it's really fun to like run through the licorice and jump on the lily pad made of peppermint candy, but it's not really a life lesson. So sometimes just discovering the dream in the way that you don't know it's coming is part of how it's supposed to come. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So it feels like it's not coming, but it is. Rebecca?
Yeah. What is it that makes you feel that you're moving farther from it?
Because sometimes I just feel nothing is going on, no matter how much effort,
Feels like it's not
no
coming.
matter how much I give 200%. I don't get enough sleep sometimes. I'm working towards it, but so it just doesn't feel like it's happening sometimes. Don't have any. I'm always going through no agent, no manager, or they fire me, or I can't get another one. So I'm just like, am I getting further away?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because the message that was coming through were just the words, let go.
Yeah.
Let go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let go. And that's not to let go of the dream, but just to let go of your need to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that can be a little scary, especially in this city of angels, right?
Exactly. Well, that kind of goes along with the universe doesn't give a damn about your timeline.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily to stop taking action, but it's a letting go in the sense of letting in and trusting, okay? Sometimes when we're in a space of seeking something, right? When we are in that point of view that we are the ones that have to make it happen, then guess what? There we are all by ourselves, 100% or 210%, like you said, in our own effort, but solo. And there are so many allies in this world that are willing to help you, but you have to let go and let them.
Yeah.
See?
And let go of the expectation of how you think it's supposed to be.
How it might look, yeah.
Because that's a lot of the lesson, sweetie. And we're talking about the entertainment business, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me
my earliest memories of my life, I remember being 2 years old and wanting to be an actor. That's always, it's always just been inside me. I don't know why. Just only thing I've ever wanted to do.
Well, because it's what you do, sweetheart. But you have to change your expectation of what you think that looks like. And I'll tell you from my own experience. Okay, this isn't even just my psychic hit. This is my own experience. As a lifelong artist, somebody who's wanted to be an artist since I was 5 years old, and who started as an actor, and I'm still an actor. When I thought that I was trying to pursue the path and knock on the doors, I sort of describe it like your path is not an Easter egg hunt. It's not that someone's hidden the eggs everywhere and you're running around, lifting up every bush and every toilet seat trying to find the eggs. It's not really what it is. It's more like you get prepared, you get in your place, you get where you need to be, you collect your tools for your toolbox, and then you step in the canoe and you pull the oars in and you let the universe take you down the river and decide where you're going to drift to. So when I stopped pursuing my career and started just getting ready and opening up and saying whatever's going to happen should happen, and I stopped getting disappointed or upset when the expectations of what I thought was going to be my career wasn't going to be my career. And I'll tell you the truth, this was at 41, 42 when I started here, 41 years old when I started here at LA Talk Radio 10 years ago. And I thought my career was pretty much over, and then I got offered this gig, and I was like, oh, I guess my career's not over. And then I thought, well, if this can happen, anything can happen. So I'm going to stop asking for stuff and just start letting the universe provide and say, whatever kind of career you all want me to have, wherever I'm supposed to go, you just let me know. And I have had more opportunities in my life and more work as an actor and as all these other things that I never thought I was going to, because I simply let the control go. And I just stopped worrying about holding on to the expectation of what I thought my career was going to be when I was 5 and 15 and 25 and 35, and just let it be what the universe wanted to give me. And I think that's a lot where you're at, sweetheart. I think it's where you're at spiritually, where they're telling you, like Rebecca said, to let go. And I also think it's where you're at emotionally, where you need to, for your own emotional growth and your own spiritual ascension, you need to let go so that you can grow. Because right now you're still stuck in this, kids' ideology of what kind of career you're supposed to have. And the universe is just waiting for you to release it all so they can bring it in, the new stuff into you. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Awesome. Yeah, 'cause I'm doing a lot of writing now.
Good.
And that feels really good. Is that a path I should continue to
Absolutely.
pursue?
Yes.
Yes.
You should leave yourself open to every creative thing that you can think of, honey, because all of those things are within the realm of what the universe wants for you. And you'll find that all of those things will wind up satisfying you as much, if not more, than being an actor. And you're going to learn that instead of just pursuing life as an actor, you're going to pursue life as an artist and be a little bit of everything, as a creative being. And you're going to wind up loving that.
Yeah, pursue your passion, not the outcome.
Yeah.
You see? Follow that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Follow
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
that
that
makes
will
sense.
show you the open doors. Like,
Yeah.
there'll be certain roles that, feel a little more glowy or have a little more sparkle to them.
Yeah.
And they'll be more drawing to you. And you won't necessarily know why. Maybe the role itself doesn't make sense. It's not something you thought of yourself playing. Maybe it's a small role, whatever it is, but you will feel that pull to it, that draw, that yes inside of your heart. And that's the following your passion rather than the outcome. Okay.
Yes.
And that includes your writing. That's a passion for you. So follow that. Who knows where it's going to lead?
It happened strangely that I've always had problems in school, but yet I can't stop writing now.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. That's it. I was not a writer either in school. I didn't become a writer until I was in my 20s. And when I went back to college to get a journalism degree because I had started writing. But I was not somebody who in high school was like, oh my God, the term paper. I'm so excited. I was like, oh God, this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't ever going to be anything but an actor. I wasn't going to be a writer. I wouldn't be a director. I never wanted to produce. In high school, I did none of that. And now I find that they're all equal passions in my life. Directing's one of my favorite things, and I never even did it till I was in my early 40s. Because I thought somehow it made me less of an actor. I still had that thing that if I gave myself to other things, then I wasn't really going to be an actor. And especially my spiritual life, right, which, as you know, has taken over so much of my life. And I've worked more since I started considering myself in service than any other vocation. And now I work more as I ever have in the psychic spiritual world, and I work more as I ever have in the acting world. So, it's all there for you, sweetheart. It's just waiting for you to release all that stuff you don't need so new stuff can come in.
I think I got it. All right.
And you are going to be so okay, my friend. And we are so completely thankful for this call. And thank you so much today. It was what a joy to talk to you. Look at this. It's fun, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Are you having a good time?
Uh-huh.
Talking to people?
Yeah.
It's totally fun. What about you and expectations for your life? Where's that lesson for you, since I just told my whole life story, Rebecca? What you thought you were going to be and how you thought things were going to work out and then how they worked out.
Oh, well, I certainly didn't expect myself to be living in LA. That's a surprise.
Okay.
But in general,
It's a good surprise?
it's a great surprise. I'm loving it.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
Welcome
you.
to LA.
Yeah. Wow. Like, at what point were the expectations different than the now? Really, healing has been a part of or being a healer, becoming a healer has been a part of my journey since I was 20 and really far before that. But that's really when I pursued the training. So it's been a part of my quote unquote expectations for a long time, but how I expected that to look, I mean, I really thought that being a healer meant I was going to have x-ray vision and like lightning bolts coming out of my hands. And, and also studying with Madre Sarita, her prowess was in the physical healing. And that was her greatest passion. She would just light up when there was someone sick at her door. And it's not that I can't or don't or won't do physical healing with people. It all goes hand in hand. But my greatest passion is the, working with the trauma, working with the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual components. So I would say that was a big expectation that shifted, that expectation that I had to do it the way Madre Sarita did it, that held me back for a long time. Because I was waiting for the x-ray vision, which I already had. It just didn't look the way I thought it did.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for the lightning bolts out of my hands, which, again, I already had, but it just didn't feel the way I thought it would feel.
We all want those lightning bolts to come out of our hands, don't we?
Yeah. And, and then when I really, really let go of needing to do it and needing to mimic her, needing to be the best little Madre Sarita I could be, then I really, really found my way and remembered the passion that pulled me to become a healer in the first place. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how I think this was something that I was sort of spared, which is nice. It's nice when you get spared. My mom, who I talk about on every show and usually cry, she was very beautiful and very much, ascended master-ish, which I always say, and I don't say that lightly about people, in the sense that she always raised me to not be her copy, but that I was different than her, and that how I was going to approach life was going to be different than the way that she did. Yeah. And I'm so appreciative to her for that.
Yeah.
Because it would be so easy for me to be trying to be a copy of her because she was so big and so strong.
Yeah.
Yet from a very young age, she was like, but you're not like me in that respect. See how you're like this. And it's true. In some ways, I just communicate very different than her. I'm an Aries. She was a Scorpio. She had nobody to take care of her as a kid. I had her. So we grew up with very different levels of trust and very different levels of openness and different levels of introversion and extroversion. And so I'm not her. And she did her thing, and she gave me what she gave me, and I wouldn't be me without that. But now my spiritual work is a little different than the way she approached people. Although, honestly, in a lot of ways, it's a lot the same, too.
Yeah.
She was much different as a spiritual practitioner than she was as a person. I think we were probably much different as people, but how we spiritually practice, that was where, when she was teaching or being a therapist or being a psychic medium, that was when she was really her most open and her most accessible.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like a fluffy bunny. I put my cell phone out on the air. 818-437-0886. Text me if you want to get on the air with us.
Text the fluffy bunny.
Text the fluffy bunny for a free reading. God, who doesn't want that?
Are you a pink fluffy bunny?
Oh, I'm definitely a pink fluffy bunny.
Okay.
Did you know?
Well.
I'm really a pink fluffy elephant.
Oh, okay.
I so love the elephant.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you have
I'm
to,
sure
you
I
have
was
to
an
see
elephant.
what's sitting on my bed then.
Oh, is it a giant elephant?
Not giant, but there is an elephant on my bed.
There's elephants all over
He's not pink, though.
They're all over my headboard.
Oh, really?
My headboard has little dips, and there's an elephant in each one, and there's little elephants all along.
Aww.
Yeah, you can't
so
you
happy
can't
to
sleep
know
without
that
elephants.
about you.
No, there's elephants everywhere in my house. Are you kidding me? I definitely was an elephant at some point, and I, in some ways, still very pissed that I'm not. Although this is not really a good time in our world to be an elephant, but still, I was an elephant. All right, we're gonna get Evie on the phone right now. In just seconds. It's Lightworkers Unite here on the Sheena Metal Experience. To get on the air with us, 818-437-0886. That's my cell. You have to text us. You can't call us because obviously I can't take your call while I'm on the air and on camera and with Rebecca and doing all my other stuff. Evie, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Woohoo! How are you?
Great. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
So what can we do for you, my friend?
You know what? I was just listening to your last two callers, and every single thing you said could have been for me. It's kind of crazy.
Good.
And I have to say, Rebecca, you were talking about the dream thing, and this is what I'm thinking in my whole head. I can always tell when I'm having a human dream, if you will, and a psychic dream, because a psychic dream for me is absolute clarity. There's no question. It's like being in the movie as they're shooting the movie, and you're actually living it. And I don't know if that helps you differentiate, but it did for me.
Well, thank you for
that. It
that.
did for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you guys for what you're doing. And I don't really have a specific question, if you will. I feel a shift going on, a big shift, a really big shift. I am in a pretty good place in my life, mostly. You know, there's been some devastating and traumatic events that have happened, but they've happened more to my friends than they've happened to me. But as an empath, I can feel them. Wow,
Sure.
You know how it is. But I was just wondering if maybe you guys could pick something up on that shift, maybe more specific than I can see for myself.
Okay. Rebecca, why don't you go first? I've been grabbing all these first.
Yeah. So the shift to me is a contraction that's leading to an expansion. And it's not just an expansion, it's a reaching further into a completely different audience than you were expecting. And I see it like an audience. I don't know why. But I do. I see a group of people that you are to be working with that is not something that you had necessarily set out to do. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with you?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So there's a shift. This shift that's happening is one of those downloads, one of those psychic dreams that's coming for you, both in your sleeping dream and in your waking dreams. And it's preparing you, giving you, downloading into you the language that you're going to need in order to work with these people. And it's not necessarily like language, like different words per se. It's also an emotional language. Does that make sense? So there are experiences coming to you that aren't necessarily for you, right? But you are experiencing them. Like they're not your experience, but you're experiencing them so that you have those reference points that you can then speak into those experiences, that you can give those experiences a language and the map of transformation, right? The little treasure map. So that's what you're building right now through this shift is the emotional language and the direct experience of those who you are going to be helping and the things that you're going to be helping them through. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I feel like this has been so an overwhelming time for you, not necessarily in a bad way. Sometimes you can be overwhelmed in a very good way. That it's almost made you it's been a very introspective time, right? It's been a little more of a solitary time for you while you've been kind of working through a lot of this, preparing for it.
Absolutely.
And it's time for you to sort of get out of the house and start being out with people now. The universe just said in their very gentle way, tell her to get out of the house and start being with people. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and don't be afraid of everything that you're feeling. Like feel it, feel all the feels. You know, I don't think that you are afraid of them.
That's really difficult for me because when I feel them, then I feel like I'm falling apart. You know what I mean?
Right, but that's okay. Fall apart. Fall apart.
Says the Scorpio.
Yeah.
Scorpios like to fall apart and then put it all back together again.
Yeah, we do.
The Aries says, "Don't fall apart. Never fall apart." Yeah. I mean, I think that it's just it's a lot of stimulus, right, coming from you're very raw right now because you're ascending so fast. So being around people can be a lot.
Absolutely, and raw is a really very good way to put it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be don't even know how to explain it. I'm trying to be there for everybody, and I find that overwhelming sometimes. Just a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I struggle with the words that I'm trying to say that just, you know, fall out all over the place and don't make any sense to anybody. But I know you guys do the healing arts and all of that stuff, and I would really love it if you guys would put some extra stuff out for a couple that I know that are going through a really traumatic time right now.
Absolutely.
It's just ugly for them. Their daughter was murdered last year.
So sorry.
And yeah, well, you know, me too. It's awful and it's ugly. And my worry right now is for them. So put that good stuff out there for them.
You bet.
Please,
Absolutely.
please text their full names as well as their daughter.
Yeah.
To Jenny, to Sheena.
818-437-0886.
Yep, I've got you in my contacts.
I just gave it again. I just like giving it out on the air because I know there's lots of like stalkers and, you know, morally questionable people listening. I want to make sure every one of them has my private cell number, people. Yes, absolutely. We'll help your friends any way we can, sweetheart.
And if there's a photo of her daughter, will you please text that along as well, please?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And you know what? Here's the thing. And this is, she's fine. She's gone, but she's fine. It's the living the here on earth thing that is hell for them. And I'm not worried about her at all. I miss her. I grieve her, but I'm worried about her family right now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's always harder on those that are left behind. It's easier on those that get to go. It's so easy on those that get to go. It's so much harder for us because we're all stuck here in soul school in our meat suits. And they're uncomfortable.
Soul school. That's a pretty good way to put it.
We're still stuck in class. We didn't graduate, and we're still stuck here in the class with our uncomfortable meat suits that get hot and cold and sweat and hurt. And they're just, you know, literally flying like an eagle. So absolutely we will do that, sweetheart. And thank you so much for being here with us today and for being such a wonderful part of the show. And we wish you all the best. And please stay in touch with me and let me know how it works out for you and what's going on with you forward, because we want to hear about all your exciting things and your beautiful new ascension. You got some great people today, really, really beautiful people.
Yeah.
You sort of take it all in when people are telling you their story. You're an eyes closed girl.
Yeah.
I'm right in the middle of it with my whole woo.
Yeah. Well, if they were right here in front of me, I would be eyes open.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking at them with there's their eyes right there. We're looking at you right now, people. Beautiful stories today. Beautiful people so far.
Yeah.
We're doing wonderfully here. How are you liking the energy of Los Angeles, new person to Los Angeles?
Well, if you had asked me that question 3 weeks ago, I might have had a different answer, but I'm loving it. I love my city of angels.
Beautiful.
And feeling very much embraced and really realizing that I've been embraced this whole time. I just very much like our last caller had to do a little bit of breaking open.
Okay.
It doesn't always feel good.
Did you do some breaking open?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I shattered, and then I put myself back together again, and then I shattered some more.
Okay.
It was good.
You like to shatter.
I do.
Okay.
I break open. That's
okay.
That's what the
I'm always broken open. I'm always trying to put stuff back in.
It's not a falling down for me.
Right.
It's always part of the evolution. You know, so many people come to me with a question similar to, was it Dan?
Yeah.
Of like, I feel like I'm moving backwards, or I'm back where I started, or I'm like a dog chasing my tail, and you know, it's like it's just another turn on the spiral, but it's still a spiral. We're still moving up, we're still ascending, and it may look like we're looking at the exact same thing again, but we're not. We have a higher point of view, and so we're seeing it from that higher point of view, or we're working on another layer, another level. So yeah, for me, I don't mind the breaking apart, especially with the sweet sisters. Hi T, hi Corey, love you, who support me.
Okay.
Yeah, my little healing tribe.
That's who breaks you open?
They're just the ones that hold me while I'm broken.
Oh, okay.
They don't break me apart. No.
No, but I mean they're there when you break apart. They're your break apart people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some break apart people.
Yeah.
I don't break apart very often. I kind of always keep a hole for drainage. I have a shunt.
You just
and it's just always letting things come out as they. I'm not much of a, but Scorpios, man, you guys can hold things in like nobody's business, like a vault.
Do we?
Oh God, yeah. You got to break into that thing with like dynamite and a grenade.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, guess I haven't been a very good Scorpio then.
Well, just you're talking about breaking open.
Yeah.
I don't have to break open.
Oh yeah.
I'm always
you've got
open.
Your shunt. Yeah.
You know, but that's a Scorpio thing. They need to be broken open.
We're in the extremes.
I'm like, oh, you're supposed to ever close it? I didn't know. But that's just my weird Aries thing. I would not recommend everybody be like me. We're gonna get Maria on right now with us. Maria, we're so excited to have you on the show, and thank you so much for being here. If you want to get on the air live with us, 818-437-0886. That's the number where you text me. And then we will put you in the queue, and we're just taking people in the order that they're calling, and we will get you up on the air. Maria, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you here, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me.
What can we do for you?
Well, I happened to see that you were doing some readings this evening, and so I figured I'd just call in and just have a chat with you.
Wonderful. We love that story. What do you have on your mind, honey?
Well, I just have a few things going on, actually.
Okay.
I don't quite know where to begin.
Okay.
I
begin
guess
at the beginning.
A little bit of everything.
All right. What's the most on your mind right now? What's really occupying a lot of your heart?
Just some health situations going on amongst family members, I would say.
Okay. And
That's
are you the one in the family that tends to worry about everyone when they're having health problems?
I think we all do, but I think mostly me of late. So there's a lot going on, I'd say. So, and it's kind of on my shoulders right now. So a lot of stress, not enough exercise. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Rebecca, me, you, who's going? I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still coming.
You, well, you know you're an empath, right? I mean, that's obvious. And you know that you naturally feel everything. I mean, that's just who you are.
I've always felt that. I think that's true.
So sometimes you're so busy taking in and fixing and healing others that you don't spend enough time healing yourself. And that's something the universe really wants you to take a look at is how much time are you designating during the day, during a week, during a month, during a year to make sure that a lot of that wonderful empathic warm light of healing that you have is turned on you to heal you. It's like when you're on the plane and they tell you in a case of emergency, the oxygen mask drop, you put yours on first and then you worry about saving the plane. So you're not so great about that. You want to save the plane and suffocate. So,
I need more hours in the day. You're entirely correct.
Yes.
But I need more hours in the day to get it all accomplished.
Yes. But you need to take care of yourself. And you see how just when I said that, and you said you need more hours in the day, which means I need more hours in the day because I have to heal everybody. And maybe if I could get some more hours in the day, then I would also heal me. And the universe is saying, no, you need to take time to heal you. And before you heal anyone else, or you're going to run out of healing juju. And it's more important that you replenish yourself so that then you can work harder to replenish others. Do you see how, so you're kind of a person, honey, that you even will sort of take the topic of conversation off of you and put it onto what other people need. And that's beautiful. And that's a wonderful trait. And that's so gorgeous. And I love you for that. But you also need to take time to take care of you.
Well, I'll certainly try. I think that's entirely, you describe me exactly, but I'll certainly try, as you say, and always deflecting away from myself. But, what can I say?
It's really important that you take in what she's telling you because it's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder before it gets easier. Does that make sense? There's more coming.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, there's more coming. So it's really, really important that you do this. Like pick a day in the next 7 days that is just for you. Okay? Let somebody else do the doing for that day, and pick that day to really recharge, because it's going to get harder before it gets easier.
Yes.
Okay? And so it's really important that you do the recharge, because life is going to need you. Your family is going to need you, like really, truly need you. So it's really important that in the next 7 days, you take a day for yourself, you recharge, and as Jenny was saying, throughout, as you're serving, recognize what you're receiving in the act of service. Okay? Be replenished by the act of service. Don't go without eating. Don't go without for yourself. Okay? It is not selfish, really, to take care of oneself. This is how we are able to then share with others.
Yes.
Right? If we have nothing to give, right? If we have nothing left to give, then what good are we? Right? If we have nothing left to give, now we're the one in need. Now we're the one that needs rescuing. So it's so important that you take in everything that she just shared with you, and don't just try, you need to do. Like Yoda says, there is no try, there is only do.
Oh, now she's bringing out Yoda. All Scorpios are secretly Yoda.
Yeah, we are.
That's completely a Scorpio thing. And all Aries are really Jar Jar Binks.
Very well put. It is good advice. It is good advice. That sounds like it's something that I should really, I'm going to take that to heart for sure.
And I know it's hard. I know that you resist that, sweetie, because, you know, in the New Age community, they talk a lot about your story. So your story that you tell yourself is that you're sort of this self-sacrificing person that takes care of other people. And maybe if there's a minute left, then you'll have a crumb of cheese and take a little care of yourself. And the universe is telling us to tell you that you have to switch your story a little bit, because you're running out of extra reserves. And, you know, it's wonderful that you put everyone else first. I think that both Rebecca and I are people that put everyone else first. But you have to learn at some time that you have to put yourself first. So because that's your story, I can feel energetically in you, and I'm sure Rebecca can too, that when I start to tell you, you need to take care of you, it's like this energetic block comes down. It's like resistance. Like you don't want to hear it. You don't want to think about it. You don't want people to tell you to that you have to take care of you. I'm sure people have been telling you that your whole life, and you're like, I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. But the universe is saying now is the time that, sweetheart, you have to hear it. And I think you know that, and that's why you called in, and that's why you're here with us, because deep down you know something has to shift a little bit, sweetie. Something has to give. And what has to give is that you need to switch your thinking, to switch your story to, I'm a person who takes care of other people. However, I'm also a person that takes care of myself. And I think once you switch that, you're going to find that not only do you feel endlessly and unbelievably better, honey, but you're also going to have much more energy to help other people once you fill yourself up again and you recharge everything again.
I agree. I agree. You're entirely correct. And sometimes you just need to hear someone say it.
Yep.
You know it's there, but it's like when someone says, like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm doing. So
yep.
So thank you.
You bet, sweetheart. It's absolutely our pleasure, and we adore you, and we're so thankful that you were here with us today. And it's so important to have you here. And, you know, you follow up with me. You have my text cell. You can text me. You've got my email. You can stay in touch, and we would love that. And we want you to, all good things for you, and we want you to keep in touch with us and let us know how it goes, Maria, because we've all learned those lessons. Boy, Rebecca, how old were you when you learned that lesson? How long ago did you learn that lesson? Last week? Tomorrow? Next month? 2 years from now?
I'm still learning. No, I mean, that lesson comes again and again and again. And each time again, it's that spiral. You know, you see it at a different layer, a different level. But I feel like at some point when you really take that lesson in, wow, you get to this place, what we were talking about earlier in the show, of how good it feels to give, how it fills us up as healers, that no matter what's going on in our life, that when we step into that space, wow, it's really that receiving, that giving is the receiving. So, yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm still learning. But I tell you, you know, when when you're going through it, sometimes you don't have much of a choice but to take care of yourself, because, ain't nobody else going to do it except for Spirit. Spirit's always doing it.
Well, and I think that Los Angeles, the interesting energy of what comes up from the ground here in LA is that it really will remind you to take care of yourself, which is why I think sometimes this is a city of egocentrism, because I think sometimes when the ground says, don't forget to take care of yourself, a less grounded person is like, oh, it's supposed to all be about me? Okay, well, God told me to. But I think that LA will remind you again and again and again, take care of yourself, foster yourself, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I think is the most beautiful about it. Somebody told me once that Los Angeles sits in Scorpio. Each geographic place sits in a place.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true. I will have to look that up, but I did hear that Los Angeles sits in Scorpio.
Well, I like that story.
Yeah, sure. It certainly doesn't sit in Aries. And if it does, per se, then it would explain a lot of the energy of the city, because the city is really your best friend or your worst enemy. If you respect the city, if you treat it well, if you filter energy and love into it, then the life that it will provide for you is beautiful and amazing. But if you go against it, if you tuck it down, if you try to tell it how you're going to take it over, if you try to make it all about you, then you will seriously get your shit shut down pretty fast. And to me, that's growing up inside a Scorpio and growing for 9 months inside a Scorpio, where I learned to feed off the umbilical cord of revenge and justice. I know a lot about Scorpios.
You're giving away all my secrets.
I think one of the things that was so hard for my mother in her life as a Scorpio was that Scorpios are born with this innate sense of justice. And the injustices of the world just about killed her on a regular basis. It was such a hard thing for her. Is that a hard thing for you? The imbalance sometimes of how it feels and the way that people act and treat each other.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely goes to heart. But I've really worked through that. I'm much better now.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've really shifted my story about justice and learned to trust the perfection of life. It's actually going to be a big part of my post tomorrow on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be, and then what's the theme of it?
Well, I'm actually sharing an old blog that I wrote years ago.
Okay.
And it's a 4-part series, and it's actually looking at basically using the political arena as a mirror for how we use the human mind against the freedom of our nature, i.e. the government against the people. Right?
Yeah. Look who's gone and gotten political.
Well, I know. Go figure.
Somebody came to LA.
Well, no, I wrote this blog ages ago.
Right, but now you're, re-putting it out there because you're now a Los Angelino.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because every time I repost an old blog, I kind of sit with it. Okay, does this still hit me as truth? And what parts, maybe need a little shining.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So it'll be interesting. I haven't actually reread the one that I'm going to post tomorrow yet, but it's a big one because it's on the, we're looking at, Our Lady of Justice, and our wounded story about justice or injustice.
Okay.
So the judicial branch is what the focus is tomorrow. Today was the executive branch.
Oh,
yes, and the ego, of course, which was an easy correlation to make in today's
and then the legislative
presidency.
branch is tomorrow?
No, legislative is the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow is judicial.
Oh, and today was executive.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to have to tackle, right?
Yeah, well.
Yeah?
I don't know. It's fun for me. It's fun for me to play and play with words and play with truths and merging them together with metaphors. And this was a fun, challenging metaphor that my former husband put me up to ages ago.
Okay.
Of I want to see you bring spirituality into politics.
Okay.
Because I was always with politics.
Really?
No. I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear it. It's all just, BS. And yeah. So, yeah, he put me up to the challenge, and I would say that I rose to the challenge.
Well, I think that a lot of politics is energy. It's the energy of the people and what the people manifest in the personalities of politicians.
Yeah. Well, it's just such a great mirror for how we process any decision or opinion or reaction within ourselves, and truly the hierarchy that we have that we live in, that we have been domesticated with,
Mhm.
of mind over matter, mind over emotion. The mind is the king, that we have sought to overthrow, but we haven't really. We've just kind of modified into this President Jekyll Hyde,
Right.
with a fractured dualistic ego that is just serving several masters rather than one soul king.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely a fun blog to revisit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
What else do you have coming up? What's happening in your world?
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't quite
Oh no, it's all a secret? 'Cause Scorpius-
No, it's not a secret. But well, we're going to Teo. We're going to Teotihuacan,
good.
Mexico. The pyramids, the city of pyramids, the place where human becomes God. It's just outside of Mexico City, and we're going to go first week in August. I don't have the dates totally confirmed yet, fingers crossed, but I'm aiming for August 1st through like 6th or 7th
Okay.
with an optional extension trip to some lovely playa somewhere. I have a couple of playas in mind, Playas Beach in Mexico. So, yeah, I'm really excited.
And this is kind of your big thing that you do every year.
Yeah, I do a trip to Teo every year, and this one is, I've been doing the last few trips have been focused on the healing work and sharing the healing techniques as Sarita taught them to me, and then with my little twist on them. And those have been wonderful. But I'm really called by the mother, lo and behold, surprise, surprise.
Always called by the mother, that Rebecca is.
Yeah, to do another mother and child reunion trip, which is the trip that was dreamed into me, 5-6 years ago now, I guess.
Oh, wow.
It was like my first trip back after about 5-year hiatus of, well, you can't really call owning and operating a restaurant a hiatus.
No.
Getting married and then opening a restaurant. Yeah, that's not exactly a hiatus, but that's what I did for 5 years, and then came back to Teo with this journey that, it just really, truly downloaded into me, the mother and child reunion. And I'm so excited about this journey because it's that one, but on a whole other wonderful, beautiful level, because it's, it's not just healing our relationship with the mother, i.e. our biological mother, and kind of changing the face of that mother to the divine mother. It's also really connecting with that divine mother inside of us. And to do that is to connect with, this piece that I have been journeying with, of really connecting with my own little girl, that little girl that we left somewhere along the way, whether it was to kind of keep her safe or to be able to function in this crazy world, as I call it. But yeah, so there's a big kind of really connecting to oneself as the mother. So I'm really excited. It's still forming and unforming and reforming. And so that's happening. And
Awesome.
the other thing that's happening that I haven't begun yet, I'm just waiting for, I don't know what I'm waiting for, but it's coming. I'm going to be, where I live now in Santa Monica Canyon, this private estate is dedicated to the mother, to Guadalupe, the Virgin Mother. And there's actually a chapel on the estate dedicated to Guadalupe.
So wonderful to live with as a chapel. How beautiful.
Yeah, and it's been a big part of my own healing coming here to LA, because as you know, I've been going through it. And so
nobody should have to go through it, but I know we all have to go through it.
Oh yeah, we do. But anyway, I've been going there, and so she really wants me to start 40 days with the mother. And so at some point I'm going to be starting this, and I'll be doing it live, 40 days with the mother.
Oh, the mother wants you to start that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I'll be doing it live, probably Instagram live. I don't know if I can do both Facebook live and Instagram live.
If you have
at
two
the same
phones, you
time.
can.
2 phones.
You need 2 phones. Yeah. Yeah, because how else would you film 2 different things from one camera?
I don't know. But anyway.
You could do it from one and share it to the other.
Yeah, that's true.
But you'd have to be on camera going, oh, here's my sharing it face.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that. That kind of mortifies me.
I'll have to figure it out. Maybe that's what I'm
Okay.
waiting for. Somebody to
phones.
help me figure it out.
2 phones.
Um,
Or a phone and an iPad.
oh, I do have an iPad.
Or a phone and a laptop.
I have that too.
You just need 2 devices.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
What would you do without me?
Well, and now we actually have like internet on the property, so that will help a lot too, and a cell phone connection too. So that will help too.
Oh, good. Well, that's wonderful.
So yeah, I'm going to start 40 days with the mother, which is going to be each day, starting with a prayer with the mother, and then we're just gonna see what the mother has to say, because she likes to move through me, and sometimes it's in prayer, and sometimes it's in messages, sometimes it's in song. Yeah. So we'll see.
That's
But
beautiful.
It's going to be really beautiful. And then I'm also going to invite people every Monday to send me any prayers that they have for themselves or for their loved ones. So they'll send them to me over the weekend, and then I'll light candles in the chapel
Beautiful.
for all the prayers. Yeah.
I do that every new moon and every full moon.
Yay.
I do requests on Facebook. I'm doing it tonight. If anybody's out there
tonight's a full
wants
moon.
a full moon prayer, send them to me. I've got about 50 waiting for them at home.
It's a super moon, right?
And it's a super moon.
Super
Yep.
moon.
It's a really strong moon, and it's really intense emotionality. It's an adventurous moon. It's a sexy moon. It's it's really about kind of getting in touch with you and sort of moving beyond the boundaries of what you do every day into
Wolf
things that are
moon?
very exciting for you.
Is that what they're calling
No,
it?
the wolf moon was last time.
Oh.
It's not a wolf moon.
I just
Last-
want every
last
moon to
month's
be a
full
wolf moon.
And that's Life with Rebecca. All right, we're going to get Kim on the line really quick. You just want it to be. I saw a white wolf in Sedona. Do you know that story?
No.
I told that on Haunted Playground today. I'll tell it in a minute after we talk to Kim.
Okay.
That's a true story. But then later a shaman told me that it was a spirit wolf, that an actual white wolf would not have come that far down. But I didn't know if it was real or not, but I was scared to walk to my room because I'm such a city girl. Kim, welcome to the show. Here you are on the Sheena Metal Experience, Lightworkers Unite, LA Talk Radio, Rebecca Haywood and me. We're so great to have you here. What can we do for you, my friend?
Thank you. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. I guess any advice you guys could give me or direction with career. I'm probably not going to stay in the location I'm in, but I was just hoping maybe you guys could help me narrow it down of what I should be looking for.
Yeah. Universe wants you to move to a different place. The universe is so pesky with its plans. Also, something where you are helping people, health, medical profession, nonprofit world, metaphysical world, spiritual world, something where you're in the helping and the healing, that you're being put into service.
Okay.
And a lot of the struggles that you've gone through, honey, in the last however many months, years, is leading up to you getting ready for your service. So think of it almost as like a spiritual boot camp.
Okay.
You've been training to be, you've been, lucky you, my friend, you've been picked to go into service. And sometimes, it is a calling and it picks you, and sometimes it doesn't give you much of a choice. So, anything that, I said the medical profession, but that includes the healing arts, the holistic world, education, the psychiatric world. I mean, anything where people are getting loved and helped. Rebecca?
Yeah, well,
that sounds perfect.
Education is what the teaching. I saw you teaching, which is a service, and so I see you teaching. I see you sharing something that you already possess, that you've already been developing, but you may be seeking out some more training in order to further develop that. But I see you teaching. Does that resonate?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I mean, I would enjoy any of that. I guess I've done marketing my whole career, so I'm kind of wanting to switch to do something else. So I've been looking human resources or community relations, something to get me away from marketing.
More heart.
So, something that I can just go and feel better about what I do on a daily basis.
Well, and I feel like marketing has really just it does not ignite your heart in any way.
No.
It feels
And
like
it really
a money
never
job.
did.
Yeah, it's a money job, but it's what people have to do in marketing, and hey, how do we make people buy something, and how do we get this out there, and that all just sort of makes you feel like, it's not something that really excites you.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, definitely. And if I could find that in a new location, I would be so happy, because the last many, many years I've been a struggle. So I keep telling myself it's been a struggle for a reason, and God wants me, and the universe wants to put me somewhere different. So I'm trying to stay open to all possibilities.
Good. But every time you say new location, the universe screams warm, like that.
I
Warm.
see that too, like desert.
Warm. Warm. So definitely a warm location. You're not supposed to be cold for any reason. So
okay, good.
It's all about warmth. And
that.
also I think the warmth is also not just literal, it's also figurative, that you're supposed to be in a warm environment with people who are warm and in a warm community.
That sounds wonderful.
No more.
I've been in some where people are not so nice,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make living there easy.
No more cold people. Enough of that.
Right, I agree. I'm ready.
Good. Good. Yeah, you're going to be just fine, honey. Think about, when you think about it, think about healing arts. How can you get involved somehow in the healing arts?
Yeah.
Don't you think, Rebecca?
Yeah. And again, I just keep coming back to teaching some kind of aspect. And the other thing that had come before you would even really ask the question was that, it's a big change, but it was also going to be like carrying along a piece of you that you've already been doing. So the marketing might be a part of the work that you're doing. Maybe you're helping people in the healing arts with their marketing, because Lord knows we need that help. But
Yes,
maybe that's the
we do
teaching
need a
part
little-
that is an adjunct that carries you through.
You're going to teach spiritual people how to market themselves, because we don't know nothing about that.
And we're not very good at it.
That is true, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I don't see that as the thing, but maybe that is a part of it that carries you through financially, and is maybe a stepping stone for you from this life into the next.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I in the long term, I see you teaching something. So, I don't know what that is. That's all I'm being given is teaching, teacher.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And I keep getting healer, helper, healer.
Yeah.
So maybe that's all one and the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. This is Erica's going to be on with us now. It's nice the way that Skype sort of lets you call people and they just magically appear. It's not like ring, ring, ring like it used to be. Now a little thing pops up and says, Erica has joined you. And then it's truly magic. Erica, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there.
I love
How
that.
are you?
Fantastic. Just beautiful. Freezing to death, but still so happy in the midst of the fact that I'm becoming a Sheena sickle. What can we do for you, my friend?
I'm just curious about just a recent relationship, and if you see it like going anywhere, like coming back, like, because I'm struggling with it because it was 4 months and everything was just going so good, and now I'm just at a standstill because his ex came back in, and the whole thing's very toxic, and he's confused and he doesn't know what he wants to do, and I'm struggling with it because I felt like he was my soulmate, like we just clicked, like he's the male version of me, like he's a moon baby, like he's a Cancer, I'm a Taurus, and we're just so compatible. And I just wanted to know, like, I don't know, am I spinning my wheels? Should I just keep moving, like, let it go? Mm-hmm. Or should I wait?
Well, okay for me to go, Rebecca?
Sure.
I feel like you should wait if you want to, but wait cautiously and don't stop your life. Because what you're running up against is a couple of things. One, it's some people don't do well when things are going fantastic. And he's more apt in his own spiritual design to go back to the ex where everything is so toxic than to be in something that's beautiful, because he's more familiar with toxic than he is with beautiful. And then you run up against why he's more familiar with toxic, and that runs into the fact that there's a challenge with him in liking and loving himself at a deeper level. And so in a way, the ex, who is not terrific for him, is a lot more of what he thinks he deserves than something that is as well aligned with him than you are. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, it totally makes sense.
I mean, it's hard. It's almost like you're being punished for being fantastic, and the relationship is being punished for being too good. But his story, we talked about stories earlier, his story that he tells himself is, I'm always going to be in this lousy thing. Relationships are always going to be difficult. I'm the one always getting burned. I'm the one always getting effed over. And so he's put himself in a situation where that is the situation, so the story comes true. And unfortunately, a lot of folks do that to themselves. We put ourselves right in the middle of that story, and then we're back in the same situation again. It's like some kind of warped Groundhog's Day where we think we're getting out of it, then we put ourselves right back into it. So now he moved into this thing with you, and it was so different than anything he'd ever been through before, and it was so good, and then that good felt scary. Felt just good to you, but to him it felt good and then scary. And then he started, then she comes back around. The ex comes back around, right? And the ex is,
right,
not great for him. And that is something that feels familiar to him. Also, the ex is very narcissistic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's addicted to her in many ways. It's like a bad habit. She's a bad habit that he can't break free from.
You're absolutely right on the money.
And why it is that folks keep going back to narcissistic people and leaving good people to go back to them, I have to tell you, spiritually, that's above my pay grade. I don't understand the draw of narcissists, although I was in a 12-year relationship with one and almost lost my life in every way you can imagine. However, I, even looking back now, all I can think of is that I'm an addictive person, and it was an addiction. It's an addiction that you think is love, the same way that I'm sure in the back of my mind I fantasized that C's candies were in love with me. It's the same kind of thing. You want something more than it's actually good for you. You think you need it because it's an addiction. And I think narcissistic people come in and they kind of bamboozle you in a way into thinking that things are going to be a certain way, and then they reveal the truth. So at this point, because she wants him back and he was with you, now she's reversed her whole story and backed it up, and now she's showing him the wonderful, amazing person she was when he first met her. But as soon as they get rolling again, then she's going to flip over. When I was a kid, my mom got me this doll, and it was a Little Red Riding Hood doll, and then you could flip it and it was Grandma, and then you could pull Grandma's bonnet down and it was the wolf. And that's kind of what narcissists are like their grandma, but if you pull the bonnet back and flip them around, it's the wolf and Grandma's clothing, and that's kind of that's a great analogy for what a narcissist is. So right now she's being Grandma again. Oh, you're so wonderful. Can I help you? And every great thing that he fell in love with, because she's trying to get him back. And as soon as he goes back, then it's going to be like, blah, and then the snakes come out of the can, and then there it's back again, the monster that lives in the closet. So, unfortunately, sweetheart, you just have to be patient and hope that he's going to come around and get healthy. And as he gets healthy, realize what in his life is a healthy thing and what in his life is not a healthy thing. And it's really that simple. It's hard. I know it's so hard, sweetheart. I've been there, and I know how hard it is.
I just feel like my heart was ripped out and thrown away. Like
I know
everything was so good, and you just said it so perfectly. I have been there. I've had it done to me. I know what it's like. I've been involved with people as friends and romantically that one day a narcissist snaps their fingers and then they go running off and you never see them again. I mean, I don't understand what's so great about narcissistic people, but it must be. But again, right? I know I shouldn't eat a bucket of Hostess products, yet sometimes I do, and then I feel sick afterwards. I think it's the same kind of thing. I think you just can't help yourself. People know that I probably shouldn't shoot the heroin, but yet there's the heroin, and I do it. And I really think that you have to break narcissism down to addiction. And someone is just flat out addicted. He's flat out addicted to that woman, and he knows it's not right, and he knows it's not good for him, but he just doesn't know what to do about it. But just it's not love, it's addiction. The love is you, the addiction is her. Rebecca?
Yeah, what I saw was that I would describe it almost like a possession, like he's possessed, like a spirit, right, by her. and I could just see that energy kind of wrapped around him the moment you asked the question, and it was just heavy and dark, and my inclination to tell you was, not run, but because there's nothing for you to be afraid of, but steer clear of it and give it a wide girth, because you're better off not trying to still be a part of his life while he's going through this, because he needs to not just exorcise her from his being and from his life, but then he needs to heal that space in him and kind of fill back up. And it's really important that if this relationship is going to work between the two of you down the road, because I do see it, that potential there, that if it's going to work, he needs to heal himself and fill that emptiness inside of himself, and not use you to fill it, you see? Or else then you become a better addiction, but still an addiction nonetheless, which eventually you're going to smell the fallacy of that. And that's going to start to turn you off. You're going to lose respect for him, which will then, everything will crumble from that. So it's really important that you allow him the time and the space to not just get clear of her, but get clear inside of himself and fill himself up. And that doesn't mean that you can't be friends with him once they part ways, but just be so mindful of giving him the space to really, heal himself. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes total sense. You guys just were perfect. It just made a lot of sense the way you guys explained everything.
And then a lot of praying, sweetie. I mean, sometimes you have to pray for the soul of someone you love. And if there's any prayer that I can ever say for anyone, next to praying that somebody gets over a horrible physical or mental illness, I mean, the next thing I can think of is you pray that somebody gets away from... Is it okay to say a bad person? That's not very new agey of me, is it, to use the word bad, Rebecca? But some people, I'm sorry.
Are you really asking my permission?
I'm an Irish Northeasterner. I had a Scorpio mother, and I'm an Aries. Some people are just bad, and this woman, Erica, is a bad person. She does not act. What's a nicer name? Selfish, egocentric, toxic. All about herself, toxic. Yeah, she's a bad person. Yeah. She's if she was in Willy Wonka's factory, she would go down the rotten egg chute. I mean, she's not a good person, but yet she knows how to bamboozle others to get what she wants. And whatever game that she was playing on whomever she was with after she broke up with your guy, that has now gone awry and afoul. So when narcissistic people suddenly find themselves alone, they start looking backwards and they think, well, who from my past, what sucker can I go find from my past that will once again buy what I'm selling? Who purchased my snake oil in the past that would like another bottle? And they literally go back through their client list and they find everyone who's purchased the snake oil. And they think, oh, I know, this guy bought my snake oil. I know, I'll call him. And most people, hopefully at that point, toughen up against her and say, yeah, thanks for the snake oil, but, never again, lady. And they hang up the phone. Unfortunately, there's a thing inside of your guy that there's a brokenness in him, as we all have brokenness in us. We all have buttons that can be pushed. We all have vulnerabilities. We all have sensitivities. And narcissists know how to push every button you got. And whatever it is that's still vulnerable to her inside of him, she tripped all those triggers and he right back like a robot.
Yeah.
So sometimes it helps just to pray for people, to pray that cord gets broken, to pray that he finds the strength within himself to stay away from anybody in his life that isn't good for him, that he gets strong enough to realize that he's enough. Send me an email tonight and I will, my email, everybody, if you're listening, is Sheena@IamRaisingYourVibration.com. And I will include some prayers for you and for him in my prayer request tonight for the full moon, because he needs some prayers.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes you just need prayers. Oh, you don't have an email, though, you told me, Erica, huh? You know what? Put them...
you know what? I'm so, backwards. I'm not good with that kind of stuff.
I
know it sounds crazy.
Do you actually have an email address? Can you email me?
I can look on here and see. I had my niece set up my everything for me, so I don't know it by heart or anything.
That's okay.
I have to maybe
Find
Maybe
it
I can find it.
and email me, or leave me your email and my text number, and I will send you a reminder.
Okay.
All right?
I'll work on that.
All right,
I
sweetheart.
thank you guys so much for your all your information and your guidance and input you guys gave me. That helped me out a lot.
It's absolutely our pleasure, honey, and our privilege. Thank you so much for being here with us. And everything's going to be okay, sweetheart. Keep the faith that he gets healthy and he comes home, because he should. I said bad person. Some healer I am. Some namaste woo-woo I am. Stay away from bad people, kids.
Well, you are an Aries. I mean, you just, you just say it like it is.
I'm somewhere between, like, somebody who's chanting in a corner and my feet are barely touching the ground because I'm levitating, and the old get off my lawn kids guy. I'm somewhere in between. I still have that New England practicality of kids get off my lawn. I mean, some people just need to be called out for their bad behavior. It's not okay that people who have a lot of negativity in their soul continue to take advantage of people who are good-natured people. That's not okay with me.
Yeah.
And I'll fight against that my whole life. And if that makes me not foofy la-la enough, then,
It just makes you a good friend to have.
Right?
For someone like me.
I will cut a bitch for you.
I know it.
I'm that kind of a friend. I will take somebody out for my friends.
Yeah.
Not literally, but I'll think about it. And if you're a douchey person, you don't get any prayer requests from me.
You'll wish she meant it literally when she's done with you.
Yes. This is fun. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything like this before? Not with me, but have you done it before? Anything close to this?
Not really. I mean, most of my clients are over the phone, especially right now that I'm in LA and new to LA. So I don't have a whole lot of local peeps yet.
Okay.
But yeah, so most of my clients are over the phone. So in that sense, yeah, I do this all the time.
Okay. But never like in a public setting of just people just call up and you don't know who they
and
are.
like complete.
It's fun, isn't it?
Complete strangers. No. Yeah.
It's so much fun. I know you're a fan of hockey.
Uh-huh.
This is a little like a hockey game, except nobody's hitting each other. But it has that kind of excitement, right? Somebody calls in with an energetic need. We're jumping in. The question comes out.
You haven't gone to a hockey game with me
not
yet.
since I was a
so
kid.
Like, yeah,
No. We got to do that sometime.
Yeah.
Not since I loved them when I was a kid, because my mom wanted me to be an ice skater. Oh, mama, I loved you, so I did that just for you.
I was a figure skater.
Mom wanted me to be a figure skater, which would have been a great idea if I wasn't built like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from age 5. But I still did it. I put up with it and I did it. And so we were at the rink all the time. So it was hockey and figure skating. My mom, to the very end, when my mom got really, really sick and she didn't want to do anything, the only thing she was interested in doing was watching musicals, figure skating,
I love watching
and democratic politics. Everything else. The last thing that anyone ever said about my mother before she died was the orderly that was cleaning her room came and told me what a lovely lady she was. It was the night she died, and how she made her feel so special, and like she wasn't just the girl that came in and cleaned the room, which made me cry because that's who my mom was.
Yeah.
And then she said, sometimes I'd put the news on for her, and I thought, oh, dear God. And she said, oh, your mama, she hates that Donald Trump. And I thought, and that's the last thing anybody ever said about my mom before she died. But it was true.
Yeah.
So, she was very into fighting for everyone's rights. So even when she got old and sick, that was something she remembered. Skating was something she remembered, and musicals. Everything else,
yeah.
So she loved the figure skating. And I learned to love it just because of her.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, she loved Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner. And they became friends of mine. And I did her memorial at the Hollywood Improv.
Yeah.
And they were on stage with me.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh,
it was
that's
really nice. They
sweet.
did it just for her. They never met her.
Yeah.
But they did it just for her, just to be sweet. So
Ah.
just good people. I like stories of good people. Since I railed about bad people and snake oil, I thought I'd tell you all a good person story. If you want to get on the air with us, it's so easy. 818-437-0886. That's how you get on the air with us. You send me a text. You send me your name. You send me your number, and then we will put you up on the air. We have a bit of a waiting list, so just kind of bear with us, and just bear with us, and we'll get you up. How do you describe your gifts, Rebecca?
I don't. Well, which ones? I mean, really, the greatest gift that I have to offer is just unconditional love. And I would say that's the most common response. I remember when I was, well, I'm still revamping my website, but as part of the journey of doing that, I kind of reached out to some of my longtime students and just asked them, like, what's that thing, that you get from me? If you could name 1 to 3 things, like, what is that thing? How have I best and most served you? And yeah, that unconditional love was the most common response of all of them, is that they just always felt embraced by me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that they could bring anything to a conversation with me and not be shamed by me. And the other common thing was, I teach through my personal journey. I teach through my personal experiences. And I suppose it goes hand in hand with the unconditional love piece, because, I want people to marry that human with the divine. I see so many people on a spiritual journey, myself included, when I was a little girl, of just, idolizing spiritual gurus, or even though I got to live with my teacher, I still put her up on such a pedestal. But I'm so grateful that, like, gosh, we shared the same bed for years. Like,
not everybody gets to sleep in a bed with their guru, Rebecca.
Yeah, and so
such a Scorpio.
I know, right? We go all the way. Yeah. Well, yeah, we won't go there right now.
I'm not touching it.
Yeah, no, we're not touching that one. But
I'm supposed to be foofy la la for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, just stay there. But yeah, so and having lived with her and just seen that human side, I saw her break like a little girl. I did, and then that have to turn around and work with a client and be the great and powerful Madre Sarita, and I really learned that they're not separate, and we don't have to hold them separate, and one doesn't weaken the other.
No.
And really it's about marrying the two and honoring our human as much as we honor the divine within ourselves. So that's one of the gifts that I feel that I bring, is that I don't pretend. I don't pretend to love you. I really love you.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't pretend to not be human. I really am human.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't pretend to be divine. I really am divine. And all of those things are true, and they're all true at once,
Yeah. Yeah. And I try to give you advice that you can really use in your real life.
Yeah.
I mean, not just, it's, yes, I work on your spiritual side and on building that, but also how do you take those spiritual gifts and apply them to your practical real world life?
Yeah.
Because how are the lessons, I believe the lessons are given to us by the universe in order for us to not only learn them, but to apply them to this semester of soul school.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, why are we in soul school?
Yeah.
We could be at home, where I believe we all go when we're not incarnate, and the universe could teach a theoretical class and talk to us about human lessons and what happens when you're incarnate. We wouldn't actually have to go through it here.
Right.
We have to go through it here because we have to learn how to take those things that we're learning from a higher power and apply them to our lives, so that we get the actual experience of what it's like to grow and be in a body that hurts and be around people that hurt you and know joy and love and give birth and cry and, have a kidney stone and hug a puppy and, all of those things that we probably can't do while we're sitting on a cloud.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Not that I think we actually go and sit on a cloud, but, it's an analogy, folks. Work with me. But so I think that some people are like, oh, I learned the lessons because I chant and I sit and I do a yoga position but then in my life I'm still a total train wreck. And it's like, okay, that's the first step. Learning the lessons and getting the spirituality down, that's a fantastic first step. Now, how are you going to take that and apply that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say that my life has been that journey of, I didn't even know how to meditate until really Sarita was my first teacher. Well, I guess I had one teacher before her. That was really funny and very involved meditation, though. I much preferred Mandari Sarita's style. But yeah, like life, I've always been talking to life and listening and looking beyond face value. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? You know, it's like, okay, well, why this, or what am I to learn from this? And I called her my inner psychologist for the longest time before I really, really embraced my spirituality. There was just that constant examination, that self-examination, and that examination of others, of just noticing human behavior.
Yeah.
That was actually my first major in college, was psychology.
And that's kind of the background I come from. And my mom was a therapist. My grandmother was a psychologist.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I should have been a psychologist, and I think, no, I should be exactly what I am now. Because one of my best friends is a psychologist, and we kind of work in tandem with each other. But there's so many things he has to worry about. When you're a psychologist, there's all these ethics, like, what are you saying to people, and what kind of language are you using, and are you, how much you can't. If you're a psychologist and someone ends the session, you can't say "I love you," but yet almost all of my clients tell me they love me when we get off the phone, and I tell them all I love them back because I do. Yeah. So when you're a spiritual counselor, they're not all those like rules that are bound by and man-made rules, and you're bound to those.
Right.
So I can do whatever I want. I can hug clients. I can tell them I love them. I can call them my friend. I can invite them to events and hug them. It's a much different thing, I think. I don't have that same kind of worries.
Yeah.
And he's a very super spiritual, super lovely, squishy, adorable Irish guy. And I see how he has to kind of say, nope, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm a psychologist. And I think, oh, that's a bummer, because I can hug everybody. And I will. I will hug each of you by the time my life is done. Right. I can be a fluffy elephant.
Yeah.
Look at that, just popped up out of nowhere, didn't it? Yeah. Everything is beguiling. All right, we're going to get Jenny on the phone right now. And then we will get her on, and then we'll be live, and this is fun. 818-437-0886. If you're watching, 818-437-0886, and you want to get on the air with us, this is how you do it. Jenny, welcome to the show. So great to have you here, my friend.
Hi. Thank you. Let me mute you on the radio.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
Okay.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can hear you loud and clear. How are you? What's on your mind, my friend?
Hi, I'm doing okay.
Good.
And good to see you.
Nice to see you
and
too.
You both look lovely.
Thank you.
So, kisses and hugs. I'm let's see, try and be super short. Just going through some stuff.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, praying and meditating. My mom also died. My dad died.
So sorry, sweetheart.
Semi-recently. My 2 dogs died.
Oh, I know.
And, that sort of stuff. And just praying and meditating, trying to take it all in. But I was just sort of wondering, if you get sort of anything, if you can hear my mom, if my dad's there, if they say anything,
Yeah. What's
checking in?
What's the story with? There's an incredible amount of sadness in you, and some of it is circumstantial because of all the loss, but some of it is just you, right? It's a thing that you wrestle against all the time.
Yeah.
And I know that that's something that concerned your mom when she was alive. And it's something that she watches over you now and worries a little bit about and wants to make sure you're going to be okay. She's always sort of checking your sadness levels, and that is something that is of a concern to her, that she always was worried then and is now that the sadness would overtake you at some point, and that when it comes, it sort of makes you like paralyzed almost, right? Like it's just, there have been times where it's really stopped you from doing things in your life that you really want to do.
Yes.
And all of the grief and the loss of late has just sort of compiled it and given it a reason to come back and sort of wreak havoc around the inside of you. And the most important thing that she wants you to know is that when you feel like that, when you get sad and you miss her and it makes you not want to do anything, that's when she wants you to go out and do more things, because she wants you to become more active and more involved in things, and that to take the sadness that you feel because she passed and your dad passed and your babies passed and use that sadness to become more involved in the everything and not retreat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do feel that when I sit and I'm meditating and I'm talking to her and I'm talking to my dad and what I do feel that. And I do try to do that, but I guess I've had a problem with sadness and depression my whole life.
Sure.
So I really have to do a lot of work to make sure that I don't go under.
Yeah. And the more that you do things and get yourself out there and get involved in things and volunteer for things and go to events and show up and see people and meet new friends, the less that the depression is going to be allowed to crawl up inside of you. And I don't want to use the D word, but since you used it now, I'll use it.
Yeah, I use it. You can use it.
Some people don't like that label or identity. But definitely with you, it's more of a lifelong thing than it is just, it is just situational because of all the loss. But that certainly is kicking you in the ass and it's not helping. So the hard thing about depression is that it makes you want to withdraw, but withdrawing is the last thing that you should be doing. And I feel like so much of your life over the last however many years has been, taking care of your dad, your mom when they were sick and then they passed, and then taking care of the dogs and they got old and they passed. And other people in your life too that were older, or people, there's other people besides from your mom and dad that you helped take care of, right? That were older. Yeah. And so you've kind of become this person who has, like we talked about earlier in the show about your story that you tell yourself. Your story has been like, I'm Jenny and I care for everybody. And that's wonderful, except unfortunately there's not a lot of stuff left for you at the end of the day. So you don't have a lot of things that are just your own that really make you excited and joyful and gleeful, and you get up in the morning and you're like, I can't wait to get involved with that, read about that, go do that, see those people. Those things have sort of become less and less in your life. And as they've become less and less in your life, your enthusiasm about life and about your life specifically has started to wane a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you got to get that back, baby.
Right. That's what I just sort of recently got my feet on the ground with some family stuff that happened after my parents' death. And I feel like I'm just getting heavily back into my meditation and prayer and the things that I do that make me happy. Yeah. But for a long time, because I had other responsibilities, I just wasn't able to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I think promise yourself, sweetheart, that if you have other responsibilities in the future, and those will happen, right? Life is about having responsibilities, that you will make time every day to pray and meditate, even if it's just 5 minutes of each. Promise yourself that the next time.
Well, I should preface with, yes, I do pray and meditate no matter what, all through everything. I always pray and meditate. It just wasn't getting inside me, I think.
Yeah, I know. Rebecca?
Yeah. So, sweetheart, there's also a forgiveness piece, and it's in the masculine lineage of your family. Dad is here to help you carry it through, see it through, but it's goes back before your dad. It's not necessarily something that you experienced in this body, in this life, although it had shadows. There were experiences that kind of mimicked those of this past life, but this is in the masculine lineage that you were born through, and there's a forgiveness piece, and you can have the conversation with your dad through your dad. He can be a conduit with that, and there may be even a piece that was there between you and your dad in this lifetime that is the starting point of that conversation that'll reach through that lineage. But there is this thing in your depression that it may sound funny in this aspect that you were born as a woman, but there's in this depression there's this this masculine shame piece, this masculine that you've been holding and carrying down from the generations. And so there's some piece of forgiving that masculine within you, forgiving the masculine that acted against the feminine, and yeah, it's within that masculine lineage that you bear but your dad can help be a conduit for that. Does that resonate with you?
I'm just sort of trying to take all that in.
Yeah,
and
I know it's a little out there.
I think it. Yeah, I think it does in some ways, but I think there's probably a lot more there. So
Yeah. Don't try to process it on a brain level, on a mind level. Just let the energy of it. I was really just doing the work with you as Sheena and you were talking. So I'm available to you in that, and so feel free to light a candle tonight and over the next few nights, and call me in, and I'll help you energetically, astrally. Do this lineage work, because it's a deep piece. This depression has actually been with you for a very long time, like it came in with you when you were born. Like you've always held this. So there's so this is other lifetime. This is not just lifelong work. This is lifetime work.
That's an ass kicker when it's from another life.
Yeah. And it's okay. You don't have to be able to see the life or know the life. Everything that you need to know is right here in this life. People want to go and do this past life regression stuff. Don't worry about it. You don't have to know any of that.
Rebecca poo-poos past life regression.
Sorry. But because everything is here living in your cells now, right? There's an actual science called epigenetics that we pass information through our cells, okay, to our offspring, right? And of course, our cells are changing in this lifetime based on the messages that we're sending, the emotional experiences that we're having now are altering our cells now. So we get to change what we're passing on to our offspring. But basically, anything that we've inherited, whether during this lifetime or from another lifetime, it lives in our cells now. So all that we really need to focus on is this lifetime. We don't have to search for the who's and the what's and the where's and the when's. Okay? So don't worry about that, and just let this energy kind of soak in, because there's an opening that's already been bridged inside of you. And so this work has already begun. Okay? And it's just going to be like an unwinding experience. Okay?
Thank you so much for the call, sweetheart. You take care of you. You know my heart is always with you, and I'm always here if you need me, darling. You just reach out. You've got my cell. You've got my email, and I'm here. And please check in with me and let me know how you're doing. And come out to one of my events and let me give you a hug, because that's, because apparently I heal people with hugs, or at least heal myself as I hope to heal people with hugs. We're totally out of time. I'm so sorry for everyone who's still waiting to get on the air. I wish we were here for another 2 hours and we could get more of you on the air. Thank you to everybody who called in. Rebecca, thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you online, my friend?
Well, you can find me on social media. Pretty much everywhere is at Shaman Sister. And my website is RebeccaHaywood.com. And email Rebecca@RebeccaHaywood.com. Reach out. I offer 30-minute free clarity calls, so we can get together, connect, and find out just exactly how we are meant to work together, whether it's through the healing work, the healing techniques, the shamanic cleansings, or spiritual mentoring. I'm your girl.
Wonderful. Yeah. I'm here, of course, too. Readings, healings, spiritual counseling, mediumship stuff, whatever you need from me. Vibrational uplift sessions. I'm going to be teaching a workshop, hopefully in March, called I Am Raising My Vibration, to teach you how to raise your vibration. And also I'm going to be in Dallas doing a 3-day conference in June 28th, 29th, and 30th called Aspects of Spiritual Awareness. And then I will be back in Dallas for the Embrace Your Spirit conference in October with a lot of wonderful other light workers and some fantastic fun paranormal surprises. April 2nd, which is my birthday, incidentally, I am teaching, I'm guest lecturing at Citrus College. I can get you more information about that. And then next month, the 17th, March 17th at 11:30 a.m. until 2 or 3 p.m. is the next gathering for my movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity, the raisingthevibration.org movement. Please find us there for more information. Please come. I'll take care of your tickets. March 8th is my Antiques Ghost Show night with the wonderful Patty Negri and Belle the Haunted Doll at the Loft Ensemble Theater in Sherman Oaks. So email me for tickets for everything, Sheena Metal Experience.com, LATalkRadio.com, and my spiritual practice, which is at IamRaisingYourVibration.com and at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. It's the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. And you know what happens here, my friends? Every Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, we rip the veil off the human sideshow and expose those big old Homo sapiens at their most bizarre, sometimes if we need to, but definitely They're most beautiful every day. And you know it's my show? And I got to tell you, it's my show. But what it really is, my friends, always and forever, every day, it's your experience. And I thank you for listening. You have a wonderful night, and I'll see you all tomorrow right here on LA Talk Radio.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.